Deputy Colm Keaveney.
On and moving amendments number 153, 157, and I will be brief with my comments. I have said it before in this chamber that that the debate is being characterised by both sides with the fact that either side of this debate are not prepared to fully engage with the arguments of the other side, preferring simply to engage with characters of each other. And it's a dialogue that I've understood to have emerged over the course of the last number of weeks, with very few people listening. Section 22 of the bill is a case in point, and I've heard it said that the 14-year sentence proposed by the government was put there as some form of a sop to pro-life groups. This is, I believe, ludicrous, because when I speak to, indeed, pro-life and pro-choice camps, they clearly say that they don't want to see a 14-year jail sentence in the legislation. The idea of having a 14-year sentence hanging over a woman who would be in a distressed or vulnerable situation is simply appalling. It contradicts any of the imperatives of compassion and the understanding of a situation that people would find themselves in. And I simply cannot see how any deputy in this House could support a threat of 14-year sentence hanging over a woman in a distressed situation, or indeed any woman who would find themselves in a matter like this. I understand and do appreciate that the constitutional difficulties that the Minister has indicated in committee in relation to accepting any amendments on these grounds, but I would appeal to the Minister to find it in yourself to address this issue in another way. I recognise that at least the bill, it goes in some way to have some strict liability, and I would ask the Minister to put forward an amendment within the Shannon to look at further fleshing out or defining what intentionality within the subsection of the bill to ensure that any prospect of a lengthy sentence under this section would be unlikely to affect a woman. Minister, there is another way and another option, and you could consider framing a section that would explicitly direct that the medical professionals or other third parties would only have a liability in this respect. And you could actually decide to be silent on the matter when it concerns the woman. Corla, I'm going to conclude in saying that this is the second time since I was elected to this House in debating a bill that dragged us through the early morning. And when I woke up this morning, I woke up to the message from people across this country who thought that we arrived at legislation in this House akin to a gentleman's club. It is no wonder when we sit here tonight talking about the prospects of jailing women, and we question whether or not in this House on another day and wonder why women will not get involved in politics. It's very clear when we debate legislation as such how difficult it is for people to positively consider. I appeal to you, Minister, to address the concerns that I and many others have over this section, and I'd ask you to look over the course of the next number of days on positive solutions. Many deputies opposite have spoken to you and in this House about guarantees and understandings that they have received with you in hour-long chats. Minister, these only hold good while you are in office. We have no idea what you said to them. We have no idea what the future holds. And the only thing that we can guarantee that we can compose legislation where we can enact clarity. The legislation itself must have guarantees for women, but you have to ensure that the prospect of a 14-year jail sentence, pardon me?
I know, please, no, through the chair.
The prospect that you would have a 14-year, Miss or Miss X is 35 this year. She was 14 when she found herself in this situation. The notion that has been expressed earlier on with respect to other deputies, particularly Deputy Collins, who has clearly stated that this would be absolutely unacceptable. And I think that across this House, it's very clear that there needs to be compassion coming from the government with respect to looking at an amendment in this area. And I would ask you to look at the spirit
Thank you,
of
Deputy
my
McWallace.
amendment.
And a lot of deputies offering, so please, I like you to be as brief as possible.